Welcome back, folks, to Shadowrun Dragonfall. We have just killed Billy, the albino basilisk, and recovered the keycard. And now we're going to talk to a crazy person who thinks himself some kind of fantasy king. Right. Alright, Phil, here's the keycard. At last, my trick it back into the hallowed halls of the executive wing, with the expensive supply of non-perishable treats. Hurry, noble stranger, use it to unlock the door and make all our dreams come true. Rightio. Let's use the keycard. Yeah, finally open. You have given me everything. My whole heart's desire, the hidden knowledge of Tyrannus Rex's victory is mine, and I will be better ruler for it. And also I have sugary snacks. Phil stares into your eyes. His entire body is trembling. I have it all. And all thanks to you, noble madam. All thanks to you. Yeah, that's right, and don't forget it. Don't worry about it, man. It wasn't even all that difficult. No problem, Phil. I do have a few more questions, though. Please. Okay. No, he said no more questions. Okay. Okay, so someone's died here. And we can see where the basilisk basically ripped everyone to shreds. There's the objectives. There's the goal. Experimental Bioware samples. Okay, experimental. Okay. Return to the bazaar. Has he got anything else to say to us? Nope. Okay. The only thing we should be on the lookout for if we're not careful is that we may get jumped by unpleasant people outside the door, because they may be watching this place we don't know. It is the Shadowrun universe. As you emerge, blinking into light day, you find yourself standing face to face with a vibrant wall of security personnel. A man in expensive suit raises a microphone and shouts to you, "You, stay right there. Who the hell are you?" The megaphone isn't really necessary, man. I'm standing right here. You will place the stolen Bioware samples that you have carried onto the ground, and you will lie on your belly with your hands up. If you do not, I will order my men to open fire. I don't steal anything. The owner of this material commissioned me to retrieve it for him. Iscabel, you mean? Yes, we all know about him. He has quite a reputation back in Spain. We are with we're street scum, and this material infringes on 15 company patents. The organs you are carrying are based on our intellectual property. You can have this Bioware of my dead body. Don't make me kill you, man. This is unbelievable. This place locked down for 2 years, and you choose today to come visit. You think this is coincidence? We came when the quarantine was broken. We had eyes on this place since the lockdown went into effect. You called us here when you opened the doors. Wide awake, you couldn't have broken into this place months ago. The building was quarantined, idiot. It's cheaper to set up a camera than it is to mount a hazmat cleanup effect. As long as the counterfeit merchandise was contained, we didn't care if it was there, but it will not hit the streets. And now shut your mouth and hit the floor. We will order men to open fire. Don't make me kill you, man. He shakes his head. Idiot Shadowrunner, you people don't know when to keep your mouth shut. Men, open fire. A shrill voice crackles over the building's intercom systems, reverberates through the empty streets. You will not threaten this woman, dog. The fuck? Says the guy. Too long have my people lived in fear of your aggression. I, Philip Rex, will protect this land from your Mongol depravations. The corporate spokesman turns to address his security officer behind you two. Enter the building, find whoever's on that intercom and silence him. Yes, sir. He turns back to face you, reaching for the sidearm on his hip. As for you... This lab tech voice rings down from the speakers. Underneath it you can hear the distinct sounds of his fingers hammering keyboards. Peasants, arise and defend your home. You need only to believe in yourselves. The power is yours. And the drones come Yeah, we have an absolute ton of drones. The power of belief. Thing is, he's got a grenade. Okay, he's just... That's really bad. They gut-shot me, which didn't help. So first things first. Heal me, please. And then get to cover. Drone's up, but it's not looking great. Who can we headshot? Him. And we missed. Get into cover, please. That should work. Get rid of their AP. That mage has to go. And it summons something. Fantastic. Right. Who needs to go? He's got an assault rifle, so he's actually, this person here is a good target. Let's see, which one is the most damage? He's still up. That's not great. Well, let's nuke these two. That kills the executive. And that kills one of the hazmat team. And you're in the open. And that takes out the mage. Ouch. Right. I'm taking hits. That person's done. This person needs to go down. What can we do? A couple of times. Alas, we have been beaten. Keep missing. Fortunately, she can get a good hit though. And then push up. You damaged my armor. Right. The mage has to go down. So. A couple of good solid hits. I haven't got a lot of things I can throw at this person. Try that. They're still up. Excellent. Headshot. Gut shot. As the smoke begins to clear, a cry of jubilation sounds out over the bioscience building's intercom system. You've done it. We've done it, my friends. The Horde has been defeated. With this great victory, I declare my new age exploration and commerce. My peasants will form trade agreements with our neighbouring kingdoms for betterment of all. Oh yeah, Phil. I hope that works out for you. You get that your neighbouring kingdoms are just office buildings, right? Yeah. Haha, yes, of course. It's the same way that Sultan Empire is just an ordinary office building, eh? Empire, since when is... Don't question him, just roll with it. We need to get this Bioware back to Iskabel before it starts to fall. The intercom crackles to life. Farewell, stalwart madam. You will remember you always. You hear the rustling sound of Phil pushing himself away from the intercom. A few seconds later, the building internal speakers fell silent. So, there we go. Retreat quickly, because we just got shot up. The U-Bar trip back to the Plaza is a shaky one. The surprising train is packed, only empty seats are at the very back of the car. A haggard-looking young mother marches down the side, dragging her three screaming children behind her. Two boys and a girl, each around 6 years old. As the woman nears you, see her eyes fixed on the frozen pouches of bioengineered meat that you have liberated from Sultan's ensign freezer. Finger into her brother's nose. The boy howls, and the young mother soda slumps. Slowly, robotically, she turns around towards her destination and begins trundling away, dragging her squealing offspring behind her forward with solemnity of a funeral procession. Eventually, the train hums to a stop. You debark gracefully, lugging a phase's worth of Bioware samples behind you. Right, is anybody worth talking to? Yep. Hello again, mein Freudine. How are you? How's Alex doing? He is jesting with difficulty. Samuel shakes his head. Your friend Beatrice took a chance of sending his nephew to us. I will do my best to justify his faith in him. How is Silk doing? Yes, she mentioned that you had sent her. Okay. Donation. Are you accepting donations? Here, take 15 yen. Okay. Okay. Even from the distance, it's clear something is not right with Lunia. Coming close, you can see a dried blood on the face and his clothing. A few discoloured blotches that pass for bruises on Troll's skin. More noticeably, there's considerable damage to the man's left prosthetic leg, which he now tends with a tool as antiquated as the leg itself. Go, what the hell happened? You take a tumble, old timer. Let's go, what the hell happened? You say as you come up to him. Nothing, it's nothing. Someone comes to me, thinks me weak, I sew him, otherwise he leans to one side. Lane's crutch is caked in more blood and was what appears to be a bit of hair. Tell me who did this to you. Just a punk with some bad ideas. Forget about it. You sure you're alright? I suffered far worse, as you might imagine. I don't need you anyone else to babysit me. I'll leave you be. Okay. So she leveled up. What do we want to give her? Shotgun ammo, sniper specialization. Eager gains a sniper rifle ability. Fires a discarding Sabet HTI round that ignores armor completely, costing 2 AP. With 5 cooldown, or Eiger gains a shotgun ability that sets targets on fire and strips 1 armor. Ongoing damage 4, cost 1 AP, cooldown 3. I personally like having the sniper stuff for her. And now for him, we can get Years of Devotion to Dragon Slayer emblem, initiates +1 armor, which would be nice. Or we can get basic Nova Bolt spells now flush enemies from cover when they are hit. That's actually really nice, but I like the idea of having armor for him. So we'll grab armor for him, give him a bit more durability. Now, Gloria gains pistol attack that targets up to 4 enemies and opens fire on all of them. Minus 5% 8 accuracy, must have at least 3 targets. Glory gains an armor stripping razor attack. 2 hits, each hit strips 4 armor from the target, costs 2 AP. We'll grab that for her. Okay. And then for him, what do we want? Yeah, we'll give him a better deck. I'm not going to use him anyway, so there's no skin off my neck. Right. with that done, we probably want to pick up a better core attack spell, but that's going to be some ways off. Okay, so that's done. Let's go talk to the gun merchant. Right. I don't think our pistol-wielding associate can use level 4 pistols, unfortunately. Okay, well, let's turn in the quest for him. Escabal, express some brightness when you catch sight of you. Ah, you're back. Do you have merchandise? I do. In fact, it's right here. He greedily snatches samples from your hands. So you do. Yes, yes. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. Good work, Black Knight. The doctor turns away, rifling through the samples and inspecting his lab. He looks like a kid in the candy store. I will transfer 2,000 yen into your account for the job, and I'll give you a moment. I will add the samples that you recovered to my inventory. He looks over the samples that you brought him and eagerly begins punching in serial numbers into the PDA. I think that you will be pleasantly surprised. And now, if you excuse me, he sent a trails off, return to his sentence. Hang on, there's a few more things I want to discuss. Fine, but let me make this quick, right? Don't you want to know what caused the lockdown, you ask? A flicker of irritation passes over his face. He reluctantly turns back to you. Yes, I suppose. What I do. He go ahead. It was a stupid accident. Somebody spilled soy calf on the control console and a bunch of test animals killed the researchers. That, he grimaces, that is frustrating, but I suppose that's all water under the bridge. I have my merchandise after all. The corporation, Cinema Corporation had eyes on that building. I had to fight one of their retrieval teams. Oh, I can't say that I'm surprised. They were instrumental in engineering my downfall back in Spain. The bastards brought all manner of drummed-up charges against me. The tabloid pressers had a field day. I wouldn't be worried about Siwasi. They may have their files on me, but they haven't taken any direct action against the bazaar. I have information of several of their executives that would be quite embarrassing if they ever came to light. One of the researchers survived. He's gone insane in there over the past couple of years. He refuses to leave and thinks he's something called a Night King. How tragic. He pauses for a moment, considering that and shrugs. As far as I'm concerned, he can stay there for as long as he likes. The lease is paid for 2061, and I don't need the building anymore. That's uncharacteristically generous of you, Doctor. The money is already spent, Black Knight. I can't get the refund, and the cleanup costs of getting the building up and running would ruin me. So it's going to sit idle one way or another. Anyway, I already have what I need from the facility. If your little friend wants to play on his fantasies in there, he's more than welcome to. I wash my hands of it. Let's get to your inventory. Auto injector. I found the schematic. Can you install it? Interesting. This type of implemented injector may have become popular with some local gangs. Yes, I can install it, though I may need payment for the services. Right, let's see. We can get some auto injections. What also do we want? Increase our charisma. Influence other subconscious, granting you subtle edge and adds +1 charisma. That would be actually really nice to get. If we could get that, that would give us +1 charisma, which is always really nice. And means we don't have to spend experience points, which is, to get next level, that's to be 6 experience points. I'm not using essence for anything anyway. So yeah, I think I've got to grab the BioWare stuff for the +1 charisma. Cyber causes essence loss. This affects magic rating of your characters. Magic is equal to your essence rounded down. Magic is very important for spellcasters. Yeah, so it's not for me. Listen, each point of mana cost lost, all spells go down +1. So basically, if you're a magic user, the less essence you have, the less magic you can do, basically. So, we spent that. With the Cyberware installed, it took us a lot of new yen, but with that +1 charisma now added to our stats, it means that we have a charisma of 6, which is useful, because we don't have to spend Because we go down to charisma. Yeah, we're up to 6 now, technically, so we don't really have to spend any more experience points in the charisma section. Because 6 is a pretty... I'm not going to go a heavy charisma build, I want to go tech. So I want to be putting my experience points into here from now on, really, and into intelligence. Plus I can still sell some stuff. Okay, with that done, probably need to talk to some people. I've not got the elf. I haven't got the elf heritage, so I can't do anything with that. I can't use that, so I'm going to sell that. And I don't have ranged combat, and they've got to have ranged combat, and it's smart linked. And hold on for it for now. What else do I want to get rid of? Well, that's fine for now. We'll sell that. It'll get us 1,500 new yen, which is nice. What are the bandits in your hand? Okay, we've seen this before. Yeah, so he's basically just... Yeah, he just basically keeps telling us about it. Yeah, so we don't have biotech, and we haven't got a... Well, we don't have an elf ancestry, so we can't tell that he's lying. Okie dokie. Let's talk to her. Simi leans against the wall, her head downcast, and her face looks in shadow. Sensing your presence, she looks up, revealing a black eye poorly covered by a concealer. And she still smiles. Hey, Black Knight, how are you? Who gave you the signer, you say? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you want something? Because I've got things to do, you know. Zach says he has a new sim for me. One with aliens and little girl I need saved. She's waiting for me, and I can't let her down. There's something going on around here. There's always something going on in the flux, right? It gives, it takes. Sometimes it takes more than it gives. And some things it takes are gone forever. Friends or disappear, family that dies, people like Monica. I don't like the flux. In The Sims, you can have some happy days over and over. You can skip past the parts you don't like or replay the good moments as many times as you want. I can't think of any parts of my life I want to play over, and plenty of the parts I wish I could skip. How do you end up in the bazaar, you say? I don't know. I was living on the street since I was a kid, had no family, no home, got mixed up with some bad people, and had a bad day, ended up owing them money, too much money. I got beaten up pretty bad, needed a doctor, but couldn't pay for one. Then I found Dr. Escobar, or he found me, I can't really remember. He said he could help me. He gave me the money up front, but he said I would have to come back for medicine every month until it was time to pay him back, and I did. I took medicine, just like he said. I really don't want to talk about this anymore, okay? Take care of yourself. Okay, something definitely is going on. Okay, so there's nothing in there. We'll do a quick stop here. We're in the wine bar. Anything to talk about with her? Lucy stares Strike standing, and the customer pleases, but her gear is piled atop a nearby bar stool. For once, she isn't smoking. She gives you a smile as you approach. Hey again, Black Knight, what's up? Did you know anything about an organisation called the Lords? You said you had got a team in Milty. I'd like to hear more about them. Do you know anything about an organisation called the Lodge? Druga's group, you mean? She smirks. So I've done a few jobs for them. They pay well. The whole ominous secret organisation thing they try to keep going is a little weird, but whatever. The money is money, and they've got it. What can you tell me about Durr? Best what I can tell, he's just a middle runner toady, like some other corporate suit that you deal with before a run. Only difference is that this organisation isn't a corp. I think he's a little fresh-faced for what the Lodge has him doing. In the beginning, there was some credibility issued. I had a hard time taking the guy seriously, so credibility issues. But when he started waving wads of new yen around and that all cleared up in a flash. Afraid I can't help you dig any deeper. He's an occasional client. He takes a sip of scotch and chases it with a long drag from a cigarette. Even if I knew more about Dur, I wouldn't tell you. Shadowrunners who kiss and tell have a funny way of dying young. I've been meaning to ask, what's up with the tattooed circuitry? It's purely decorative, or if you know, it is now. Wasn't always though. She stretches her neck so the circuit patterns on her face can catch the light. When you're looking at used to be a tattoo magic. Got it done when I was in Tokyo during a job for the Yakuza. Tattoo magic, huh? That's a new one for me. Yeah, it was for me too. It's meta magic thing, a way of quickening spells in a person, bending magic into the flesh so that it was almost impossible to get rid of. Anyway, long story short, I found a way to break it. Now it just looks pretty in the lamplight. What did the tattoos do before you broke them? She paused for a moment, considering. Finally she shrugs. Sure, I tell you, why not? Maybe knowing will keep you from making the same mistake. So when I went to work for the Yakuza, they offered me, insisted that they let them ink me. Said I needed it for the job. Long story short, the tattoo did boost my abilities, but they also branded me, marked me as Yakuza property, and gave them an easy way of tracking me from the astral plane. That sounds bad, you say. It was, but by the time I knew what was happening, it was almost too late to do anything about it. I did find a solution, but it wasn't pretty. What you do, you ask? Long list of unpleasant things, starting with killing the guy who inked me. The whole thing ended in a pretty dark place. The upshot of all of this is that I can't go back to Japan ever, but at least I can go get my autonomy back. She pauses for a moment, lighting up a cigarette. After she fills her lungs with smoke, she continues. So moral of the story, I guess, is not take any employer's word at face value. It's a lesson that every Shadowrunner needs to learn sooner or later, but I had a hard time with it than most. Now, can we talk about something else, or better yet, can we shut up and have a drink or two? All this yapping is making me thirsty. You said you got a team MIT. I'd like to hear a little more about them. She shrugs. They're good people. They get the job done. What else do you need to know? Names for one. You know my team. I'd like to know something about yours. Alright, so why not? We got Rector. He's a rigger, an immigrant from the Russian Republic. Genius mechanic and engineer. The guy built his own crawler form drone, and he's impressive as hell at piloting it. Then there's Barakada. The team's Shaman and Face Man. He's an elf in his mid-40s. He's got the whole Silver Fox thing working for him. He conducts most of our negotiations. Great card player. Ha-Chen is our decker requisite tough guy troll, huge, covered in tats and piercings, you know the type. Pretty sure that he and Barracuda have a thing going on, but they never cop to it. She presents herself to you with an ironic smile. Matt, then there's me. Between us we keep our base covered. I'm sure that you do. I'm willing to bet that my crew's better though. There's still place for you if you want to sign on. Hate to disappoint you, but it won't going to happen. Not that I don't appreciate it, mind you. I just can't work with a team like yours on a permanent basis. Why not? You say. The people in my crew get how things work in Berlin. Even Rector gets it, and he's still pretty new to the scene here. There's no leader of my team, and no one follows orders. We're all equals, and we can give suggestions and tell one another to piss off whenever we please. My crew is free to voice their opinions whenever they like, you say. So they are, but when the chips are down, you expect them to listen to you. That's the difference between your team and mine, Black Knight. You've got some good people on your crew, but my team are made up of equals. We're free, and we all know it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. She raises a glass and takes a moment to study the amber liquid inside. You're a good runner with a good crew, Black Knight, but it will never be my crew. No hard feelings, though. I'll still moonlight for you whenever you need. She lifts her glass to her lips, closes her eyes, and drains it. Now, and you know my price, and you know where to find me. Radio. Interesting. Right. So we've got a couple of outstanding contracts, another optional mission that I am tempted to take. Right, let's see if we can get anything half decent. I've got 1500 new yen. We get some more programs, so we can just straight up do what I came here to do, which is to get a better suit of gear. You get Golden Boy, drone combat, intelligence, and decking. Probably is the thing we want to go for. Higher decking, is a +1 decking would be really nice. The other one is combat drone. It's basically these two, and they basically do exactly the opposite of what the other one does. I'm going to go with hacking, because that's the thing we're good at. So we're going to swap that in for this. Yeah. Looks a bit ridiculous, I gotta have to say. Basically looks like I'm wearing a corset. It's not, it's supposed to be like a suit or something, but it looks ridiculous. But the +1 decking would be nice. So if we look at the character now, yeah, so we've got decking up to 6. It's artificially increased with our intelligence at 7. Which doesn't mean we can spend more in there, unfortunately. But it means that for checks and stuff like that, it's now bumped up, which is really useful. So we get 6 in decking. Yeah, combat. Those are okay. Top of the ways off before we can get plus AP bonus. Maximum for trolls. Right. So that's done. And to be honest, you can't really see what we look like from a distance. Let's go Kamal. He offers you a apologetic smile. A little bit busy right now, chum. Please, places to be, things to do, and all that. But if you come by later, maybe you have a little time to chat. Okay, so we've talked to her already. Right, here, let's get back into base. Okay. Anything about the run like you like to say? No, nothing. We haven't already talked about, Chief. Okay. So are they all tied it up? Maybe we won't get the extra information because it's bonus stuff. Pet him. Good boy. Dietrich greets you, a friendly, familiar wry smile. Black Knight, what's new? I'm curious, Dietrich, why did you switch from fronting a band to running the Shadows? Honestly, working the stage was pretty boring, boss. Spitting and screaming at the world was fine and good when I was a kid, but it just didn't do it for me anymore. Dragon Slayer wanted me to fight a real enemy, so I left the band and turned to the Shadows. He shrugs. Don't know, guess I'd figure out it'd be the best way to find one. Considering current events, I'd say that you're not wrong about that. Yeah, I guess not. It feels kind of daunting, truth be told, but exciting all the same. I've been looking for a worthy adversary for a while now. It's kind of satisfying, having a white whale to chase. How long have you been looking for a real enemy? He shrugs. Not too long, ever since I took down the last one. The last one? Because I might be able to sit around feeling pleased myself if I followed the Creator or the Moon Maiden, but the Dragon Slayer ain't that kind of idol. If I'm not drinking, I'm fighting, and if I'm not doing either of those things, I'm looking for a bigger, better fight to get in next time. Dietrich produces a flask from his jacket pocket and raises it to a salute. It's a remarkably simple code to live by. Who was this last one? Gang boss, a great big orcish bastard called the Witch Sneer, led the local chapter of the Horde. I had my sights set on him, and his for a while. They'd hurt a lot of people, and I'd figured they'd pose a challenge. I wasn't wrong about that, but I took him out in the end. Dear Triss, when does this pattern end, you say? Well, boss, the way I figure it, it'll end when I pick a fight I can't win, he smiles sadly. Might be this one, maybe the next, but it's hard to top a great dragon. But that's why the Dragon Slayer wants it, and who am I to refuse him? Abruptly he turns away. That's enough talk for today, boss. Besides, got other things to do, I'm sure. I should have asked him about the run before we had done anything else. Curses. Okay. Isn't the best times come back if you want to talk? Okay. Yeah, I should have asked about the run. Yep. So I've sort of locked myself out of dialogue options. No new messages. Okay. Let's see. Battered old pair of wire-trimmed glasses, sometimes gentle about the man, with silver hair and tweed jacket. He looks more like an aging art professor than he does a criminal go-between. I'd like to ask you about a member of the team. If you have any questions about the team, I'd recommend you checking your missing computer. Okay, I've got a question about the bazaar. Okay, no, so basically, like, maybe about the bazaar? Samuel Burton is a good man, perhaps a bit xenophobic, but that's to be expected. He stands up for the rights of the goblinoid races, the orcs and the trolls, yes, and they've been vilified and victimized than any of the other metahuman breeds. What is important is that he's a leader and a healer, and he helps his people. The Soy Calf is where you'll find Jan Goldsmithy. I tell you that you will find him because he never seems to leave this place. Every time I go for a coffee, he's there, sipping his Soy Calf. Beyond that, I can't say what I think of the man. He is a jovial sack of fat. Perhaps if you speak with him, you can learn something more. No, okay. So that's all really the information we have. Good to know. Okay. So now we have the optional mission. Okay. We can go assemble a team to travel to the laboratory complex to limit the loose ends from the client's bots to run. Travel to tour and meet Lou Stur's team. Yeah, let's go with that one. Trial run. At the U-Bahn hums towards Frankfurt Tor, you tug idly at the fabric of your maintenance uniform. You found it in a duffel bag on your seat when you boarded, along with a note from Dur. Right. The moment you step out of the train, the note says your trial run begins. You are to rendezvous with the rest of your team, reconnoitre the building, and plant the specific devices in the ASO suite. Beyond that, your approach will be left to you. Do not disappoint us, you are being watched. As you emerge from the dingy confines of the U-Bar, the terminal, and step into light day, you find yourself confronted by a wall of muscle in knight-errant uniform. Knight-errant, you're with maintenance. It wasn't a question. He stands impassively waiting for a response. Yes, sir. Like, I wouldn't be wearing soon if I wasn't. Yes, sir. Have you seen any of the maintenance crews around here? Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have you seen any of the other maintenance crews around here? Yeah, you've been tickling in over the last 15 minutes or so. I've already done a security check on your entire crew, everything checked on, so you're good to head on into the building whenever you want. If there's an operation you're running here, it's almost as if you're expecting me. Thank you for your time, you say. Thanks for your time. Let's go with that one. You know it's you. Have a good one. Okay. So we need to sneak in with our little drone. A young dwarf looks at you, wide-eyed and apprehensive, and with the way she's fidgeting, you can tell that she's terrified. She bites her lower lip, eyes darting from side to side. Finally, she takes a step towards you. Hello, are you Miss Black Knight? I take it you're my maintenance crew. Yeah, I am. My name's Jane. She tries to smile. It falls almost immediately. Good to meet you, Jane. Are the others still on their way? You sound nervous. You sound nervous, so you saw you're up for this. Okay, where are the other two? I was told that there would be four of us, you say. They sort of jumped the gun a little. We're already inside. Great, that's a straight. Let me get this straight. They've charged on into the building and they didn't do anything to stop them? Great, that's a straight. Let's go with this one. Great, that's a great. The dwarf wrings a hand. I'm sorry, I told them to wait, but they didn't listen. They just muscled on past me and waltzed through the front door. Wonderful, we've got a job to do, and half the team just got run off before we even got there. Alright, calm down. I see that you have a toolbox. Do you have anything inside stashed in there for the run? Let's go with this one. Alright, calm down. I see that you have a toolbox. Do you have anything stashed in there for the run? Oh yeah, in a manner of speaking, she opens the box and shows you the content. It's a pack to the brim with assortment of hand tools. I'm not like you, not like the others. You should probably know that. Vernon, you'll have to clarify that, you say. Violence makes me sick to my stomach. I've never broken into a building or stolen anything in my life. I guess that's why I'm trying to stay. I'm not a criminal, I'm just an electrician. If you're not a Shadowrunner, then what are you doing on this crew? Her face flushes red. I'd rather not talk about it, but let's just say someone did me a favour once, and this coming along on this thing is how I pay it back. Look, at the end of it, it doesn't matter. I have to be on this run, and you have to bring me along if it's what they want. Do you know how to defend a shelf? Alright, fine, come along, but stay out of the line of fire. You've got it. Shadowrun is dangerous enough without having to babysit people like you. Do you at least know how to defend yourself, you say? Well, kind of you. I brought my taser and I have a little hand pistol for self-defense. I've done some shooting at range, but I've never fired at a living being before. Certain not a person. I'm hoping we can get through this without me having to. Yeah, well, I'm sure that we'll all have things we'd rather be doing. Now, you said that your teammates went inside. Are you certain about that? That makes two of us. When did your teammates abandon you? About 10 minutes ago, I watched them storm through the front doors of the building we're going to hit. A lot can happen in 10 minutes, you mutter. They'll still be on the first floor. Nobody's getting upstairs until I bypass the security locks on the elevator. That's why I decided to wait for you out here. I figured that they wouldn't go too far ahead of us if we didn't go inside with them. Good thinking, you say. Thanks, I just hope they haven't screwed things up in there. All that I want is to get this thing over with and get back home. Right, there with you, let's head inside. Okay, let's go. Great, so the specialist team I was promised, one of them isn't even a Shadowrunner. That's just fantastic. And the other two have charged off ahead. A mid-level corporation compound complete with relieving space for at the upper levels. Oh my goodness me. Okay. Someone we can talk to. Waitress. Waitress stops forward to greet you, a drink menu in hand. Welcome, Koi Caf. Home, a budget-friendly caffeine fix. May I help you? What do you have, you say? We've got the cheapest soy cafe in Berlin, guaranteed. She pauses for a moment and looks you up and down. You've been around long enough to know that you're being sized up. Finally, she continues. But of course, for hard-working folks like you, we do have other options. Considering that corporation security doesn't tend to appreciate very much productive enhancers. Can you picture? Of course, before, there's nothing I love better than an enhanced product. What are you offering? She smiles slyly. I've just got the thing for that big presentation or that make-up or break annual report. It's called Jolt, and it's amazing. Imagine a great big cup of caf without any of the nasty crass or jittery stomach. You can take as many as you need without winding up in hospital, and each one will keep you up for a couple of hours. Sounds good to be true. Well, it's pricey and there's some minor side effects. If you take more than 5 in a single sitting, you'll probably get a nosebleed. I don't think that anyone has ever tried drinking more than 10 at once. He pauses, considering. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend that. Show me. So basically, yeah, she's selling Jolt, which is a drug. We don't need Jolt. Okay. Nothing up there. We can't talk to this person. Don't you have someone to be? The thing we also have to remember is that we are being watched, as it were. So, yeah. Inspect. It's too high to reach. Okay. Front door it is. And here's corporation security. As you step through the door, you find yourself confronted by a pair of men wearing the same kind of uniforms that you are. Judging by the expressions, there's no love lost between the two. Hearing the door swing open, they turn to face you. The sword of a human with arcane symbols tastefully embossed into his belt, glares at you. You're here finally. We've brought our little mouse of electrician with you. Better late than never, but not that much better. You're tardy enough as it is. He jerks his thumb to the elf standing beside him. I'd leave it to you to keep our pack mule in line. The elf lips curl into a snarl. Hanging from his back is a bulging bag that looks incredibly heavy. His broadsword sag under the weight of whatever's inside. He's dumbed as a post, but he can lift heavy things. Might not be a bad fight either. At the very least, he can soak up a few bullets for the rest of us. Staring daggers at the mage, he spits out a long string of foreign words in a single surcent breath. The sound of it's lovely, but expressing leaves little doubt that the message behind the words is an ugly one. Oh, and I hope you can speak Spafili. He shakes his head in disgust. Damn useless immigrants. Do us all a favour and keep your opinion to yourself, you say. Your corner's mouth twitch into an ugly smirk. You may be the leader of this team, but I speak my mind whenever I please. Get used to it. Oh, and by the way, think you could get in here any later, pal? I got an important meeting to get to, and I'm late. The city's getting to hit for. This isn't getting us to meet your meeting any faster. He flashes a hateful glance at the dwarf and turns his attention back to you. No, it isn't. So let's get to the penthouse and plant the cameras. I mask them against the text, and then we can all get out our separate ways. The elf mutters something under its breath and then hitches a bulky pack up a little higher on his back. His muscles bulge under strain. You saw that our friend only speaks Sperefil? To my instance point, yes. An Air Tigrean dialect, by the sounds of it. I wish he'd do us all a favour and go back. Address the elf. Can you understand me at all? The muscle tones of the elf's tongue pour out his mouth again, but you can't make out a word. His dialect is quite foreign. It's unlike the form of Sperefili spoken by the elves of Ternonog. But the elf falls silent. He looks just as frustrated as the mage is. Mutters his breath. So Lucia sent me in with a civilian, an asshole, and a guy who can't speak German. Wonderful. Your words don't seem to have much impact. The elf scowls deepens. Now that we're all together, let's discuss our approach. Everyone know what we're supposed to get into the penthouse? I do. If we can get to the building access panel that's on the same circuit as the penthouse, to be able to put in a security system into maintenance mode. The job will take some creative rewiring. Well, that and whatever is in the pack the elf is carrying. Our employer gave me the schematics. And do you know where we'll find this access panel mouse? Quite calling me that, it takes a moment to calm myself, and yes, I do. There's an access panel in one of the mid-range apartments on the same floor. My contact gave me the key code that will get us in. You said it should twice already. It makes me feel uneasy. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. It's the plan I was given and we're stuck with it. Unless you have a better idea, we just have to follow instructions and hope for the best. She turns to face you. Get me a building access terminal on this floor, and I can rewire the elevator. Then the first thing that we need to do. Once we're upstairs, we can use the code I was given and rewire the security system. And we hide the cameras in his apartment. About far as that's what's the theory anyway. Well, that's the theory anyway. Alright then, let's go. And okay, and that's where we're going to put a cut in, folks. I've been Cornish-knight, and this has been Shadowrun Dragonfall, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.